Gloopies, I hope you're all doing well today. I hope you're excited for some nice fun sex ed today about demisexuality with our guest here. You want to say hello?
Hi, my name is Mrs. the Mummy. Hello.
Hello, I'm super excited to have you here. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. I'm super excited to be here.
I think chat's super excited to learn about demisexuality today. I know I am, because it's one of those things that you hear, but not a lot of people talk about, you know?
Yeah, I think that it's one of the ones that is not like as popularized as like some of the other ones. Like asexuality is like really popular. Like everybody kind of knows what like asexuality for the most part means, you know. But
some people do. Some people definitely don't, or at least they don't understand it very well.
Yeah, really, that's funny because like everybody else say like I'll say that and they're like, is that like asexuality? And I'm like, no. So many people like I'm a Tinder queen, so I'm always on Tinder. But I'll say I'm demisexual and they're like, what is that? And I'll be like, and they'll ask me if it's like asexuality. I'm like, no, not really.
Maybe it's just, I'm thinking about like old people and they just don't know what anything is, you know?
Yeah, maybe that's what that is. Yeah, because like on Tinder, they'll always think it's asexual. I'm like, is that the only one you know?
It may have the title of sexual in it, but it doesn't mean it's the same thing, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, no, not that.
What would you like to explain to chat what demisexuality is to you?
Sure. I can do that. So the definition of like demisexuality, I'll just start with the definition first because it's kind of easy, and I'll explain how it affects me or whatever. Demisexuality is sexual orientation in which sexual attraction is usually only experienced after developing a close emotional bond with the other person. So people who are demisexuality usually don't feel sexually attracted to other people unless they have like an emotional tie or bond to that person. So people kind of tend to be like, well, you know, most people are that way. They kind of like a lot of a misunderstanding is people think like, well, not everybody likes casual sex, you know, most people are that way. Well, no, the difference is that a lot of the times people will be sexually attracted based on like maybe looks alone. Like let's for example, let's say somebody sees somebody who they find very visually appealing, right? And they're like, oh my god, this person's so gorgeous. You know, let me get to know them better first. Well, somebody who's demisexual might find somebody attractive, but they won't try to get to know them just to get down their pants.
Yeah.
So while a demisexual person might find somebody visually appealing, a lot of the times people who are demisexual tend to want to be friends with somebody first before anything ever any sexual feelings even arise. So for me, I tend to usually have long courting periods with people before I'm even like sexually interested in doing anything with them. Like, so for example, like I'll have friends that I'm friends with for like a really long time, and then like out of nowhere I might be like, oh god, I'm starting to have a like sexual attraction toward them because the bond has been made. Like there's a bond between the two of us that then it opens up a sexual attraction between the two of us.
That sounds very familiar.
Yeah, I tend to only like get like sexually interested or attracted to people I've been friends with for like a long time, or like for a while. Like maybe they'll do like we'll be friends for a long time, and then maybe they'll do something that like hit me on a more like emotional level. Like maybe they're like, you know, we're just talking, having a good time, and they like emotionally connected with me somehow, and then suddenly it's like my eyes are open. I'm like out of nowhere, I have the stars and hearts in my eyes, like, oh my god, I think I like them.
Oh my god, you suddenly have that feeling. I can relate to that. I can relate to that very well.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. So yeah, it's someone who, like, again, you might look at people and be like, oh yeah, they're attractive, but that's usually as far as it goes. It's not like, oh my god, they're so gorgeous, like, you know, I wanna, you know, like take them to town kind of thing. You know, it's normally oh yeah, that person's really attractive. And it's like the looks usually don't matter. Like appearance wise, that's not usually the thing that will allure us to someone. Me personally, I don't usually care what people look like. I really don't. Like originally, like I might see somebody who's attractive and be like, oh yeah, they're attractive, but the person that I might end up like falling in love with might be someone who I'm normally not personally visibly attracted to at first. You know, they weren't somebody who allured me with their looks right off the bat, you know. But then the more I start getting like emotionally connected to them, suddenly they start becoming the most physically attractive person in my world.
That's adorable.
Suddenly I'm like, oh my god, they're, you know, they might send me a picture of them eating hot wings or something. I'm like, oh my god, they're so hot. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. So for me, because like I consider myself queer now, because I'm like, I'm under so many umbrellas and I'm just confused, and so I'm just like, this is a fine title. But like recently I may have had that happen, like, and just like shoved in my face, because like previously I kind of realized, I was like, yeah, people can be attractive, but I'm not usually just like, oh yeah, I just want to like, you know, get into bed with them immediately.
right. And so like, and that's that's the misconception too, right? That a lot of people think that if you're demisexual you can't find people attractive either. That's not true.
Oh no, because like you can look at some and be like, damn, they're aesthetic as fuck, you know, like they're hot, but
yes, and be like, oh yeah, so sexy, you know. But then does that mean I'm gonna quickly, like, if they showed me attention, would I spread my legs for them? No, I wouldn't. Like that's the difference. It's like they came up to me like, hey Mrs. Mummy, you know, ooh la la, let's go back here and have some fun. I'd be like, yeah, no thank you. And to be fair with demisexuals also, a lot of the time if people like try to push sexual engagement with you when you haven't reached that threshold of being sexually interested in them, it's actually a big turnoff. So like for me personally, whenever somebody like engages with me, and because of the fact that it's a little bit hard for me because I do sex work, right? So sometimes people will like hone in on just that one aspect of me, and if they like start trying to push my boundaries of trying to be a little bit too assertive with me sexually, it turns me off incredibly. So like I then I'm like, okay, I may have been willing to have something with you if we had gotten like connected on a deeper emotional level, but because of the fact that you have like pushed and all you're thinking about is the sexual aspect of me, that's a huge turn off. Like then it's like usually I close my doors into any kind of romantic kind of like thing between the two of us, because I'm like, yeah, no, you're not seeing me as a person, you're not even trying to get to know me, all you want to do is get down my pants, and I'm like so not with that. So
because like for me, like, because I know like one night stands are a thing, but that's not been like something I've ever been like interested in, you know.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Demisexuals usually do not like one night stands. That's kind of like a ugh for most of us. And I'm not saying I haven't had them before. And normally it's because of like a, hey, I'm in a bad mood headspace, I'm just gonna do this to be self-destructive. But it's not normally something we seek out. If that's a good way to put it. Like a demisexual is not looking like, it's not gonna be. Let's just say that usually at the end of the day, it's not sexually gratifying for us, because for us what people usually get from sex, be it empowerment or enjoyment or, you know, pleasure or whatever, a lot of the times for a demisexual, if they don't have that connection, it's not going to be fulfilling sex. The sex is going to be very empty, yes, it's going to be empty. You're going to leave feeling kind of disgusting and gross and feel like you need a shower. And I've had it before and just been like, oh my god, that was horrible.
Yeah, I've only had like a one night stand once, but it was because of a threesome, but it wasn't great.
Yeah,
I was like, maybe not.
Yeah, see, I've had threesomes before, and in my youth, and I was talking in my youth, and I was talking to this couple for like months. I was like, okay, months. They were like, when are we gonna get this? I'd be like, when do I to get to know you a little bit better? Like, what's your favorite movie?
You gotta know a person first.
Yeah, I can't. Like, I'll do it. Look, don't get me wrong, we all get, you know, a case of the hornies, but like Normally, when I'm feeling a little bit pervy, the person I'm like slipping into the DMs of with is usually somebody I'm friends with. Like, yo,
Mhm.
like, how you doing today, huh? So, a lot of the time, because of that reason, like, I don't really like go for it, like, romantically with people in general. Like, I don't chase after people. I don't really, like, I'll try to talk to them. If there's no bond or, like, interest between the two of us, it kind of dies out and fizzles really quickly, you know, because I'm trying to get to know them, not just get down their pants. And so it's a little bit awkward in that aspect. So, do you feel like you have like the demisexuality spectrum kind of like fits like you as a person a little bit?
I feel like it does, like at least parts of it. I'm not sure, because again, I feel like I fall under a bunch of umbrellas, so I'm just kind of a mishmash of things at this point. But because like I've tried like dating people, like strangers, and it never has worked out. Like even if like they're super hot or they're super great people, it's just there's nothing there because like I don't know the person. But like pretty much like all my long-term relationships especially have been someone I've known for a while, and then it's suddenly there's a moment where it's like, oh, hello there. Perhaps we could try this thing, you know?
Yes, exactly. Because sometimes it happens out of nowhere, right? Like they'll do something.
It really does.
Something. Or so that's the thing with me. Like I might like, again, the initial ooh la la might be there for someone, and I'll talk to them, and then just hearing the things that they say or just the way that they act could totally like turn me off and be like, okay, this isn't gonna work. Like I don't care how cute you are, you seem like a nice person, but for me, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work for me. And so like, and then I'll be friends with somebody for like a really long time, and then out of nowhere they will do something, and then suddenly I'm seeing them with like the hard eyes, like, oh my gosh, hello, what is happening here? And then suddenly they're on my mind all the time. I'm like, hey. So when it comes to like the dating scene and stuff, a lot of like I'll get people who try to talk to me, and like their initial thing is like, hey, I want to date mommy, you know, so they try to like woo me and stuff, and I go along for the ride to see where it's gonna go, and I'll be like, okay, I'm susceptible to like getting to know you better, usually is the thing, right?
Yeah.
And so I'll see where it goes. And a lot of the times when that does happen, because in their mind from the get-go, it was already like, they already knew where they wanted things to go with me. It just usually never works out. It just doesn't. Like, again, my longest relationships, my most substantial ones have always been somebody I was friends with who then ended up turning into something.
Same here. Sorry, I was sneezing.
I was like, huh? Why are you saying something?
Sorry.
You're good.
No, but I definitely feel that because my current partner, we were like best friends for like 2 years, and then suddenly it was like, oh, hello.
Yeah, see, that's crazy. Like friends for 2 years. That's a long time, you know?
A very long time.
Yeah, that's a long time. And then like out of nowhere, then suddenly you guys were like, oh.
Well, we got to meet at TwitchCon and got to hang out like in person for the first time.
Yeah.
Because like we were friends for a year, then pretty much like best friends for the next year, and then it was just suddenly it was like, oh, what is this? What are these? Hello, what's going on here?
Yeah, and sometimes you need that connection, that face-to-face connection to solidify maybe what you're already feeling, on the inside. So yeah, that's totally valid. See, I feel like I
think like subconsciously I may have like prior, because like looking back at like old interactions, I'm like, that's a little extra flirty there. What's that? What's going on there?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like maybe again you felt that for them, but then it took that face to face. Like, oh hey, here you are now. Oh my, now I can touch you. You're a real person.
Oh my god.
That then made it even more so. Like me and my partner, we met on a role playing site, like a game, a role playing game.
Role play's always fun, yeah.
Yeah, so we met on a role-playing game quite a long time ago when I
Mhm.
was a youngin. And so when we met, we were just friends for like the longest time, and it was our role-playing characters who were like romantically interested in each other, and I was just, we were just role-playing it out and stuff. And then out of nowhere, like one day happened, and I was like, hey, wait a second, I think I might have feelings for this guy. This might be crazy.
It's so
And it
cute
was
though.
yeah, but it was because, again, like we had that connection, we had that bond. We were playing the same
Mhm.
characters that were connected to each other. We had the same interests, we had the same music interests, movies. We would just talk all the time.
Yeah.
We were spending time just talking all the time. And at first, I wasn't like romantically interested in him at all. And then out of nowhere, it was like, boom, hello. And we've been together for a real long time. But yeah, I always say like to everybody, like he's my best friend. So.
Mhm. See, I feel like, at least for me, like someone you date kind of has to be your best friend. Like you can obviously have more than one best friend, but
Yes.
they need to kind of have that vibe already.
Oh God, yes. I don't know how people can be with somebody, and then I always think like, okay, well, no wonder there's so many relationships that fail, like with divorce and stuff, because they can't
Mhm.
even stand being in the same room with each other. They have nothing in common. And while I agree that opposites attract, and there should be a healthy, distinction between things that people in the relationship should be allowed to like different things, but there still
Yeah.
has to be common grounds with things that you like.
I
Otherwise, it's always
agree.
going to be an argument of what are we watching today? Well, I don't like that. What are we doing today? Well, I
Mhm.
don't like that. Where are we spending our time apart? Well, of course you're not doing anything. You're not sexually attracted to them anymore because you're not doing anything together. There's no
Yeah.
flair. So
I don't really understand that either, because it's like, I feel like you at least have to have like some things in common. Obviously not everything, because not everyone's gonna like the same things, but you need to have like
Right.
some common ground.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I did see a question in chat. It was a little while ago, but they were asking, are demisexual people straight?
Okay, that is a really good question. Actually, that's a fantastic question. Demisexuals can be straight, but some of them aren't. And like with me, I call myself a demi-pan. So with me personally, I'm attracted to who the person is, not what they look like, not what like their gender. I don't care if there's a connection between the two of us. Gender be damned, I don't give a shit. It's like there's a connection. Let's I'm feeling it. But a lot of people are, there can be demi straight, there can be demi gay, there can be demi, it doesn't it really is different. But that is a good question, because there is a confusion about that. People sometimes assume that demi means pansexual as well, but it doesn't always mean that way. It can be anything. It can be a little bit of anything. But
So you could also be demisexual and asexual then.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
be. You can be again a little bit of everything. They say that it's not constricted to one kind of sexuality. It is a I don't know, I guess it's really hard to say. I guess it's like just preference as to what you prefer in terms of your partner, but not particularly a sexuality. I guess it's just how your sexual drive is started up. I don't really understand, because again, you would think that demisexual automatically means pansexual, but it doesn't, because my sister is also demisexual and she's demisexual straight. Because again, like she only gets like originally she thought it was a different kind of sexuality, where it's like sapiosexual, which is being
I've heard that one before.
yeah, okay, so sapiosexuality is being attracted to intelligence.
Oh.
So originally she thought she was sapiosexual, but it's not really sapiosexual. I explained to her, I was like, well, if you were speaking to, genius or whatever, would you be attracted to them? I was like, you're not sapiosexual, really. You're demisexual. You want them to be able to engage with you on your level about, a myriad of different things. not just like, if somebody's talking comic books, it doesn't mean they're specifically a genius, that doesn't mean they have a high IQ level. So what you're attracted to is the person, not really their intelligence, just the fact that they're able to hold a conversation with you and not be like hypersexual, like, is what I had to explain to her. But so that is a difficult question to answer. It's a really good question. Some people are, some people aren't. So people categorize demisexual as being kind of what kind of gets their motor running more so than anything else,
That makes sense.
Yeah, that is a really good question though.
So how long, at least for you, how long would you say you have to like know someone and be friends with them, or at least know them, before you're like really like interested in them?
It's that's a really good question too. It's a little different with everybody. I guess it really depends on what our connection is. It's like I could be friends with somebody for like a year and we barely talk and our conversations are very superficial, and that's never gonna really go anywhere in terms of my sexual interest in them. Or I can know somebody for like a month and we're talking every day, like the second I wake up to the time I go to sleep, and we're engaging in conversations where it's like blowing my mind and I'm like, oh my god, my references, oh my god, you like all the same movies as me, oh my god, you're so cute and thoughtful and attentive, and suddenly I'm feeling things for them like within like a couple of weeks. So it really depends on their engagement with me versus time. That's why sometimes I'll say that I'll be talking to somebody for like years, and then suddenly I know I'm like, oh, hello. Like, yeah, there's like this one person that I'm friends with that I've been friends with for like over a year now, probably like a year and a half with now. And at first me and them had like this crazy engagement where we were messaging all the time and stuff, and I started feeling things, and then things kind of fell off. So then like my interest in them dwindled because our connection started to fade, right? And now we're just starting to talk again, and I'm feeling like those same things again, but it's because they're engaging with me a lot more again. It's more so the engagement than anything else. It's always the amount of engagement that you get, because again, it's about me feeling like I'm bonded to somebody emotionally, not just about specifically, I guess, the time. Now, while time does factor into it a lot of the time, because sometimes you feel like you can't really get to know somebody except like after a fair amount of time, right? Yeah. But it just depends on how engaged they are in spending time with you, in getting to know you, and how much they're messaging.
Does that mean like, because there's different love languages then, does that mean that quality time and time spent together is like your type of love language then?
So yes and yes, the love language. Okay.
Well, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, I know the love languages. So this is my thing. With me, my love language is gifts, because of the fact that growing up, my parents were very emotionally not there for me. So I didn't really understand, like, like a lot of the times people tend to get their love language from those who gave them love growing up. Like your love language usually spurs from, nature or nurture, right? That's what they say. Your love language spurs from nature or nurture, meaning you're just naturally that way, or whoever nurtured you is what would cause that love language to form.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. So with me, my love language was nurtured into me from my parents. So because my parents were not very emotionally available, they would usually be like, here's this gift. Now go away, child.
Oh my God.
So for me, I always thought that love came in the form of gifts. Like, oh, okay, like if you love me, like you get me a little trinket to show me you love me, be it big or small, didn't matter. My partner will come home and be like, hey, I bought you a piece of cake from the grocery store, and I'm like, ah! I'm like, oh my God, you love me. But so mine are usually and again, my other one is was also nurture. My mother would like cook for me to show she loved me, and then go off and do whatever she wanted to do. She'd be like, hey, I made your favorite dinner, now I'm going off to the bar, have fun, child.
Oh my God.
For for me, it's like service would probably be my first one, and service, and that's my mom. Gifts would have been my dad, and then me personally, yeah, it goes in that order: service, gifts, and then time spent. If I spend time with somebody, yes, it allows me to then open up with them more. A lot of the times, because people know that my love language is gifts, people that try to get my attention will buy me gifts and be like, hey, mommy, look, I want your attention. And it's like, okay, you got my attention, what do you want now? Let's see where this goes.
Damn. See, it just made me curious though if it played into it, which I guess it does a little bit.
I mean, and that's the thing. A lot of things, like with like how you how you're raised by your parents and the love you get from them or lack thereof is normally where your love languages will build from. So that's, yeah. So like nature wise, my love language is time spent. Nurture wise, it's servitude and gifts. But yeah. That's how it tends to be with me. But yeah, it was so weird because I think even as like a teenager, like when I was growing up, like I'd see boys who were cute and be like, oh yeah, they're so cute, but it was always like, and I'm pansexual, and at a young age I knew I was or at that time I thought it was bisexual, right? Yeah. I was like, I'm bisexual, I like girls too. But, it was always like the people who like I was like lab partners with and friends with, and then out of nowhere, like, I'd be always like crushing on, like, because based on appearance wise, I'd be crushing on like a different boy, and then out of nowhere, like my lab partner or something will do something or say something, and I'm like, why do I set up like my lab partner? Who's super dorky.
You're like, oh, hello there, friend.
Hello. Why are you on my mind?
I can feel that. It's just because you get close to people, yeah.
Yeah. So I have a list of things that will say, do you want me to read this thing that says, you may be demisexual if?
Oh, sure.
I brought some reading material.
You were prepared. Thank you, Jester.
Yeah, I did. I was like, because I know what it is for me, but sometimes people are gonna have questions. They'll be like, whatever. So okay, so you might be demisexual if you're not interested in hookups or one night stands. And like to me personally, I am also hypersexual. So while the idea of a hookup or one night stand in my mind sounds really good, it's like, oh yeah, I'm feeling so spicy tonight. Want to go and have like this one night stand. The thought of actually going through with it is really to me.
Oh, it's kind of like the imagination of it is good, but the actual act of it is disgusting. I can definitely,
Yes. So in my mind, the fantasy of the one night stand is like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to the bar. I'm gonna meet somebody so gorgeous. We're gonna just go to town on each other and go wild. But then I'm like, then I think about it and I'm like, ugh.
Oh god. See, I could never imagine like meeting someone at a bar for the first time and like going home with them. Like I see that happen in movies and stuff, and I'm like, ugh. I'm like, first of all, that's gross. Second of all, I'm like, what happens if you get murdered?
My anxieties. I'm like, what if they have an STD?
Yeah.
You don't know where they've been. I have, and that's the thing. Like the demisexual in me is like, no, mommy, you don't. We don't know where he's been. What if what if his favorite movie is like, I don't know, something John Wick,
or Human Centipede.
Human Centipede. That's funny that you say that. Like one of the people that I'm very close with and I freaking adore.
Oh no!
And I have like a demisexual, like I'm in love with you demisexually kind of thing. Her favorite movie is Human Centipede.
Oh my god!
And I'm always like giving her the side eye. Like I'm always like, why do I like you?
It's like, are you okay? Why is that your favorite?
Okay. She keeps on telling me, she's like, Mom, we have to watch Human Centipede. I'm like, maybe. It's something.
That's all I really got to say.
I know what it's about. I just haven't watched it. I'm like, I love scary movies too, but that just doesn't.
No, I love scary movies, but that's not a different type of scary.
That just doesn't even look scary. That just looks disgusting.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're only attracted to someone after getting to know them. So again, this is a little bit strong worded, I think. Not you're only attracted to somebody after you get to know them, because I feel like attraction can be there, right? Like there can be an attraction.
I think you can be attracted, but it's not like you want to jump in bed with them. I think
right.
I don't know what the better wording for that is, but I feel like there's a word.
I think it's you can only be sexually attracted. You tend to be sexually attracted to people you only after getting to know them.
Yeah.
Because like again, like I can know somebody and be like, oh yeah, you know, you're so sexy, you're so hot. You know, I can think that somebody is attractive and you know, and appreciate them for what they have going on with them. But that doesn't mean I really want to actually get down to the nitty gritty. And maybe like again, the whole fantasy thing. I might be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna you all day long. But then when it comes down to it, like if they were standing in front of me like, hey, I thought you were gonna I'm like, no, I was all talk, no action. I'm sorry, I apologize.
You're like, I let the fantasy get away from me. It's
like,
no, abort.
For funsies. Why are you taking it serious? I kind of made a joke about that too because I plan on going to TwitchCon this year, right? And yeah, and so I plan on going to TwitchCon this year, and it was kind of funny because I'm like, again, I do sex work and I'm on Fansly, right? So a lot of the time people will be like, oh, would you this and this to me? I'd be like, oh yeah, I did this and this with you. Because again, I'm feeling spicy and the thought of it, like the fantasy of it sounds great. But I was like, I'm going to go to TwitchCon and some random dude's going to walk up to me and be like, hey, remember the time you said you were going to And I'm going to be like, and Moon walks out of the room. like get out of here.
Oh god, that would be okay. Because I also am on like a blue Twitch site. If someone came up to me and asked me to do something, like, because like I'll flirt with people and I'll joke about things. Like if someone actually in real life came up to me and asked me, I would just leave. I would just be like, nope. I don't think I'd say anything. I'd get
Exactly.
I'd have so much anxiety. Please never do that to me.
I know. See, I said that. I warned everybody. I was like, please, listen. I'm a lot more shy in real life than I am online. Like, do not do this to me.
Yeah, because like I'm an ambivert, so like I can be like really extroverted like on stream, but like in person or especially around people I don't know, I'm like, fine.
Wait a second, what is that word you just
ambivert
used?
It's someone who can switch between being extroverted and introverted, because especially around people I know, I'm very extroverted and like I'll be very loud and I'll be myself, but if I'm surrounded by people I don't know, I'm very introverted and quiet. And I get overwhelmed.
Oh my god, that's me! I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah,
it's called a, and I called it a, what did I call it not too long ago on Twitter? I think I called it a I don't remember what I called it, but I thought it was a social butterfly introvert or something. I called it. And I was like,
no, there's a word for it.
What it is, but that's me. Yeah, no, I'm like super loud and like boisterous around people I know.
Yeah.
But like take me in a room of people I don't know, I am not the life of the party. I'll be like quietly like just watching people like
exactly.
Don't talk to me. I'm shy.
I only actually learned about it I think within the past year. Like someone I was talking with, I was like, wait, that's me, holy shit.
Oh my god, you just taught me something. That's me. I love that. Please type out that word and send it to me later, please. I'll need to do research on this.
I'll do that right now.
I was like, whoa, wait a second. That's me.
We're learning lots of things tonight.
I love tonight already. I love learning things. I'm big on like learning things about different like people and types and stuff. I like to be aware of these things, you know, because I
always like learning new fun facts.
Yeah. Okay, so you find yourself feeling sexual attraction for close friends.
Who could imagine that?
So yeah, out of nowhere, like, and it, like I said, it will happen legit out of nowhere. Like you're just having a great time with your best friendo. Everything is going wonderfully and grand. Then out of nowhere, for some reason, you have like the wildest, kinkiest sex dream about them, and you wake up like, whoa, wait a second, is there something there?
I can't say that specifically happened, but that's hilarious. Oh my god.
It happens to me all the time with like not
I
all
love
the time.
that for you.
that happens to me with my friends that I'm really close with, out of nowhere I'll have like the revelation sex dream of, hey, you like this person. And I'll be like, oh my god, no! Shit! You know? But yeah, that's one of the things. This is hit or miss. I don't really particularly agree with this one, but it's still on the list. You don't usually desire sex, but you do if you have a close bond with someone.
I feel like that is not accurate, at least for me.
Me neither. And I don't agree with this one because, again, personally, I'm a sexual creature. Again, I suffer from hypersexuality, so this is definitely not for me. I can see where some demisexuals might feel this way, but this to me sounds more so along the realm of being an asexual where you don't desire sex versus
wouldn't that just make you gray asexual then? Because like gray asexuals aren't interested in having sex with someone unless they're like it's their like partner that they have a deep connection with, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe that might be it too. And then this one also, I'm not too much of a fond of either. When you feel sexual attraction, it's directed at one specific person, and that's not true either.
No,
because you can have a poly mindset and be demisexual and still be like, okay, I wanna, have an orgy with all my best friends. Let's go. You know.
So maybe they're just thinking for people like on the who are monogamous, because not everyone's monogamous.
Yeah, right.
And I mean, you can be in a monogamous a monogamous relationship, but not be monogamous yourself. Yes.
Right. Exactly. Like right now, I'm monogamous at the moment because I don't have a secondary partner or anything, but I just consider that being poly-single. I'm like poly-single. I
love that. Holy shit.
Yeah. I say I'm poly-single because I have my one partner, but in terms of me having more than one partner, at the moment I am poly-single and looking to mingle.
Oh my god, that's my new favorite term ever. Holy shit.
But I mean, people might be like, no, poly-single means that you have no partner, you're looking for partners. And I'm like, listen, I got my one, okay? Like, I'm still poly-single, all right? If I'm looking, if I don't have a secondary partner, then, I mean, my poly aspect is not being fulfilled. I'm just like, right now, I'm just monogamous. So it's like, I'm poly-single in a monogamous relationship.
Oh my god, I love that. As someone who is also poly, I love that so much. Like, holy shit.
Oh yeah, you know what? We're learning things today. You can call yourself poly-single too.
I don't know how Bill would feel about that. He'd be like, what the fuck?
You got your partner and then you don't have your other one yet,
Oh my god.
Yeah, poly-single.
I like making new words.
Oh my god. And so like, oh my gosh. So like for me personally being poly-single, let's talk about that for 1 second. Just 1 second. For poly-single, I was like, Valentine's Day is coming up.
Yeah.
And I was like, I hate when Valentine's Day comes up and people are like, Mommy, you have a Valentine. You have a Lucid. And I'm like, motherfuckers, I'm poly-single. I want a poly-Valentine. Can I have more than one?
It's like, maybe I want more than one Valentine.
What? So judgmental. So judgmental. Yeah. I was like, listen here, don't be so judgmental. And then somebody was like, after I explained that, they were like, well, at least you have Lucid. And I was like, oh my look, God. You're doing exactly what I said. Where people are like, and it was funny because last year I had a crush on somebody. I had a crush on somebody who I had been friends with for quite a while before I started having feelings for them. And I asked them, I was like, hey, maybe you want to be my Valentine? And they were like, don't you have Lucid?
That's so rude of them. Thank you, Red Lethal Panda, for the raid. I hope you had a wonderful stream. Hello, Raiders. I'm Ava Lamp, and I'm hanging out with Mrs. Mummy today. We're talking about demisexuality. Thank you so much for the raid.
Yeah, so he was like, hey,
double raid? Thank you also, Laura, for the raid. Were y'all streaming together? Or was that just a really weird coinky dink? Hello again. I'm Ava Lamp. I'm hanging out with Mrs. Mummy, and we're talking about demisexuality. Thank you both so much for the raid.
I love that. That's
It's
awesome.
super cute.
The double raid's always really cute for some reason.
Yeah. Because it's like, oh, you were playing together.
I love it. It's like, oh, you both together picked somebody to raid. That's so cute. I always think that's adorable. But yeah, so then he was like, don't you have Lucid? And I was like, hello, Lucid doesn't count. I was like, oh, I mean, and to be fair, I'm like, dude, of course Lucid counts. Let's be honest. Of course Lucid counts. Lucid is my forever Valentine.
Aww.
Of course he's my Valentine. But why can't I have another?
Another.
I want more.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, super sad about that. I was like, okay, great. Nobody understands. Nobody knows.
Poly people understand.
I was like, nobody knows what being poly single is. Like dealing with being poly single though. To a bunch of people who are monogamous, they're like, well, at least you have one. I'm like, ¿por qué no los dos?
Oh my god.
Okay, and it says lastly, you simply connect with the word demisexual, and maybe that is true. You know, maybe maybe I'm not demisexual, but I feel like
You like the word?
based on the description of what it says, I feel like I am. You know, like I feel like that's me. Like, you know, like I said, like I was reading an article and said for demisexuals, the result of interactions with a potential partner determine the attraction, which is not there already. So sometimes, you know, sometimes the attraction isn't there. You know, sometimes you're just not attracted to somebody, and then out of nowhere, you know, your interactions with that person then is what develops into a relationship. And for me, that tends to be how it usually goes with me in most of my substantial relationships that I've had in my life. So that's why I'm like more susceptible to being like, yeah, okay. You
So
know.
they're all more like emotional and bond related rather than like physical attraction related.
Right. Yes, exactly. Like it's not really about what the person looks like or anything like that. And of course we all have our types, like, and even with me, like I may have a type, but 9 times out of 10, I've never dated my type. Because of that reason. Like 9 times out of 10, like my type, I'm like, oh yeah, my type is someone who's like 6'2" and plus, and he's gonna be real tall. And I like them either with like a dad bod or I like them really skinny and muscular.
I love dad bods.
Oh my god, me too. Oh my god, to show me a dad bod, a little hairy dad bod. Oh gosh.
Yes. You just go feral. It's like, yes, hello, thank you.
I do like a good dad bod, and that's the thing. I like I'm tall with a dad bod, and you know, and it's like you can have a type, and then a lot of the times I don't even date my type. I'm usually like dating like average sized dudes with like average sized dad bods, and like you know, it's like, but then like suddenly out of nowhere, I'm like, oh my god, they're the most attractive thing I've ever seen in my whole life. Oh my gosh, look at them, they're the best. Oh, yeah.
So it's
Like,
a bond
again,
that attracts you.
Yeah, the looks, no. I mean, I can look at someone and be like, oh my god, yeah, you're so cute, but then they're like so like drier than a piece of like 3-day-old toast, and I'm like,
Oh no.
oh my gosh, like why can't you be interesting and good looking?
I guess that's hard for some people.
Sometimes you can't be pretty and, you know, have a personality. Sometimes that's a thing.
Oh my god. I think you're not wrong, but like
That's just me being facetious. I was just being playful.
I got you real shit.
I've joked around with my friend, like I'll like my partner. Sometimes I'll joke around with them. I'll be like, I'll do something like stupid or whatever, like not do something kind of duh, and I'll be like, I guess it's so hard to be so pretty and so dumb.
Oh my god. Oh, you aren't, Geen. Don't be like that. Chat is wonderful. All of you are wonderful. Stop it.
I was just being silly. I didn't, again,
Mhm.
that's just me being facetious, like just me being satirical or whatever. I know what I mean.
I'm just chaos.
Yeah, that's just I'll say really sarcastic like bitchy things, and people be like, "Oh my god, ugh, you're the worst, mommy," and I'm like, "I was joking. I swear, I was joking. Can you tell us me being sarcastic? I was joking.
Yeah.
Please."
So funny.
But yeah.
Was that all the ones from your list?
Yeah, there was only 6 on here, which I'm pretty ashamed of. I can go on Pinterest real quick. Let's see another one. You
Because
might
I
be
have a
demisexual. Oh
because
yeah,
I have a question that
yeah,
was
yeah.
asked. If you want to do that real fast.
I would love to.
Okay. How would you go about meeting potential partners being a demisexual introvert who is not the most socially adept? I struggle to even make friends, let alone find someone my demi brain goes, oh hey, they're kind of hot, huh?
Okay, that's pretty okay, so that is a little bit difficult, but at the same time a little bit kind of catered. This has to be catered to you as a person. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're a demisexual who's introvert and has a hard time, connecting with people, what you need to do is find places or things that you're interested in. So for example, let's say that you're interested in like gaming, let's just do gaming because gaming's an easy one.
Mm-hmm.
What you would do is join maybe like a dating site for gamers, or like maybe search like Tinder, and they have the option to search like for by gamers, people who are gamers, and find somebody that way. And just like
Mm-hmm.
again, look, if you're demisexual, normally you still at least have some kind of type of what you're like interested in. Look at like personally for me, I'm not swiping on somebody on Tinder unless they have like something written out on their app, because again, I don't judge based on what they look like. So even if they have
Mm-hmm.
like interest on there, they're like, oh, I like Fortnite. Okay, you look all right and you like Fortnite. Let's see, and I'll click yes on them or whatever. But there's also dating sites that do that. I know that there's a specific gamer dating website.
Wait, really?
Yes, there is a dating gamer website, which is like, they say it's like where you can find your gaming partner, your duo partner or whatever.
You can find your player too.
Yes, yes.
Oh my god.
They have that. So that's one way to do it. I would say, just try to find things that are your interests. If you're into like sports, I'd say go to sports bars, things like that. It's hard. It's very, very hard. But for somebody who's demisexual and introvert, I would say, again, of course, the best thing for you to do is to go on dating sites, because at least you're going to be able to read a person, what they've written, and at least kind of gauge as to whether or not you'd be interested in them in general. Like whether or not you're a gamer or not. Even if you're not a gamer, just go to a dating website in general, any dating website. There's free ones out there. There's plenty of fish or whatever, where at least you can still gauge the person and see what kind of person they are before you're gonna, try anything with, like, see if because again, at least you're able to judge them based on who they are as a person, based on what they wrote in their profile. And when you finally talk to them, fine, maybe things won't work out, but at least it's like, based on what they wrote, I kind of sort of see where maybe things could work out between the two of us. That's what I would say. And that's look, like I said, I'm a Tinder queen because I'm always on Tinder, always looking for possible, me stop being poly single by finding somebody on Tinder. But usually for me, again, it never works out. Like I play that, like I play the Tinder game all the time. I'm swiping, like unswiping people, unmatching with people depending on how they talk to me. Sometimes right off the bat, they'll say something, I'm like, nah, and off it goes. So
See, Tinder never worked out for me. Like, I think I tried it at one point, but like everyone was just looking for unicorns. And I'm just like, maybe I don't. Maybe we just don't do this,
Yeah, a lot of them are looking for unicorns, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It
like,
also
that's not
depends
what I
on your
wanted.
area. It also does depend on your area. So I live in Georgia, next to Atlanta. So it's like a very big dating pool.
So if
I
you're like
can
in the middle of
see-
nowhere, it can be a lot harder.
I'm sure, yeah, again, and that's where I'd say at least a dating website would be better than something like Tinder. For me, in my area, Tinder gets used now just for hookups for dating purposes too.
Mm-hmm.
So people are always on there looking for like girlfriends and long-term stuff. Now, there's plenty of people on there just like for hookup, because it was originally meant to be a hookup, website or app. But a lot of people on there are looking for like, hey, I want to date somebody, so that's the reason why I'm on there. But again, any dating website that might, just I'd say specifically, again, look in your area, maybe go to Reddit or whatever, look in your area as to what works best in terms of dating websites in your area, because it's different for every area. Like I know that my sister who lives in Iowa, she's always on Plenty of Fish, and I'm like, Plenty of Fish is like a bottom feeder dating website in Georgia, and he's like, no, not here in Iowa, and it's like, okay, well, good for you then, But again, it's different depending on areas always.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say try to find out what dating website people in your area are using, and then it will cater differently to different people.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
I
which
feel
is
like
funny. That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
You think that it wouldn't be that way, but yeah, apparently, different location, different outcomes.
That's so wild, to be honest. I'm just over here like,
really
man,
is.
I've even heard of Plenty of Fish in like years.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm like, hello. Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, she lives in Iowa, so.
I mean, it's Iowa.
Iowa.
Yeah.
What are their options? I'm sorry to anybody who lives in Iowa.
I'm so sorry for anyone who lives in the Midwest. Man, it'd be rough for you. Thank you for that stretch. I will say though, I feel like relationships, even ones from like a demisexual spectrum, come at the least expected times, and you're like, oh well, that is now a thing. Hello, hi.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like also like that will happen. I'll be talking to somebody who I thought like I was interested in, right? And then out of nowhere they'll do something, or something will happen, and I'll just be like, ugh, because like the bond has just broken, or they did something that just like offended me as a demisexual. And then what I thought was something special, then I find it like to me then is no longer special, right?
Yeah.
And so then, but then out of nowhere, I'll just be like walking and minding my own business, and a friend who I've been friends with for a long time will suddenly do something or say something, and then suddenly I'm like, oh my god, am I in love with them? Is this a thing? Is this are we feeling it? Is it happening? Is it happening now? And then suddenly it's happening. Because sometimes you don't really expect it. As a demisexual, you're not like, a lot of the time for me, I'm not like actively talking to people to try to like romance them for the most part. Flirt, like I'll aimlessly flirt with people, like again.
I mean, flirting is fun. I flirt with my friends a lot, which I mean,
right.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes it's just, flirting is fun, and not just that. Like I'm in a business where, my business depends on me flirting, and just, you too, I'm sure, there's a certain level. Yeah, I enjoy it. I like making people feel good. I like to flirt. Like I have a good time flirting. But as to whether or not, they take that like to heart, and I usually don't try to lead anybody on or cross any lines with anybody. And I let them know, like, hey.
I mean, I flirt with a lot of my friends, but it's never like serious flirting, if that makes any sense. It's just kind of like fun, friendly flirting.
Yeah, sometimes people take it like, and I openly tell them like, listen, I'm not looking for anything, ain't nothing happening here, my friend.
Yeah, you gotta flirt with the homies.
you gotta kiss the homies sometimes. You gotta
shower with the homies, flirt with the homies, Yeah.
And if my demisexual romantic sexual allure has like awakened because of you, then I'm also gonna fuck the homie. But it's because you made the effort, my friend. You got there.
Yeah.
You hit the finish
you passed
line.
You passed that threshold.
Yeah, you opened up those boundaries between us. Then it's like, hey, I know we're homies, but maybe.
Oh my god. Sometimes it do be like that though. You're just like, maybe.
maybe. I know we're friends, and I don't want to ruin what we have together because I love you so much.
Oh, that actually brings up a good question. Because, like, if you're dating people who are your friends, do you ever worry about, like, ruining those friendships by, like, asking or by, like, you know, taking that step?
All the time.
Mm-hmm.
All the time. So right now, I have somebody I really like a lot.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
I'm going through it right now. This is the thing.
How do you decide then? Like, if it's worth it, you know?
Mm-hmm. So I was spending, so I've known this person for a while. And we've been friends for a long time. For like a long time, I've been friends with them. And nothing was like happening between the two of us. Because like we just weren't like spending a lot of time with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then out of nowhere, we started spending a lot of time with each other. And I was like, whoa. I might really like this person. But the problem is that I have to be around them a lot because of for content purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're like doing projects and stuff together.
Makes sense, yeah. That makes sense why you'd spend a lot of time together.
And that's been opening up my feeling ships for them, you know? I'm like, oh my god. And so like I'm waking up thinking about them and going to sleep thinking about them, and
that's so wholesome though.
Yeah, and it's been wholesome because they also don't cross my boundary of like being like, hey mummy, I'm gonna you know, anything gross.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I miss you today, you know, or sends me like, and I'm like, oh god. And I like them and I care about them. But because of the fact that I have to do a lot of content with them, I've been like, mummy, don't cross the boundary. Mummy, there's a boundary you can't cross.
So if you weren't doing all that content with them, then would you cross? Like, is that the only reason you're not? I'm just curious.
Yeah, for sure. Because I feel, and the thing is also like location and stuff too. I don't know if it would work out with us like romantically or whatever. So I don't want to ruin what we have based on my stupid feelings being, you know, like my stupid demisexual feelings being like triggered by them. I have to sometimes make moral judgments, smart adult judgments about where I'm flinging my demisexual attachments to my friends, you know, because it's really hard. Like I've ruined lots of friendships because, you know, we were friends for a while and then, you know, I feel, you know, them hitting my demisexual triggers, and then, you know, one day I'm, you know, feeling spicy because I get spicy, you know, and then I'm like messaging them spicy things because I'm feeling spicy specifically for them because they're the ones who have opened up those triggers for me, you know, opened up my receptacle. I cross the line with them and then it just ruins the friendship. It just, you know, one night of like, then turns into something like, oh damn, you know, we are friends and maybe, you know, not the best person to be in a relationship with at the same time. So I love them as a person and they were my friend or whatever, and then it's hard to then go back to being what you were before. So then usually what ends up happening is then we just kind of kill whatever we had going on, which sucks.
That's unfortunate. I know it can be really hard to like go back to being friends. I know some people can, but a lot of people just can't make that switch back.
I usually can be friends with somebody again. Look, so this is the thing. I care about people and I care about them a lot, and you know, we'll be friends and then I'll start having feelings for them or whatever. And then what will end up happening is that we'll do something or we'll cross the line and it didn't work out, so I'll stop. And what normally with me has to happen is that I have to have like a grace period where we kind of separate ourselves for a bit.
Oh, like a
afterwards. Break. Yeah. And then once a bit of time has gone by, then I can start talking to them again like a friend again. But like my I guess my demisexual like relationship receptors have to like shut down. Like I have to like shut them down and then like it's like starting from zero all over again. You know, that's for me how I usually handle it.
So it can be hard then to like decide, yeah, let's pull this trigger.
Especially if I don't want to possibly like ruin what we already have, you know.
I feel like that's always a big worry, like going from like friends to lovers. It's like it's a wonderful trope and I love it, but like it's a scary step to take, because like even just like putting those feelings out there, even if you don't start dating that person, it can change things, you know?
Oh yeah. Even if you don't start dating that person, even if you just sometimes let them know, you know, because then it's like, oh, okay, things are, you know, possibly happening. And then like they start acting differently toward you, or the situations start being a little different, you know. I usually let anybody know what I'm feeling until I want them to know what I'm feeling. I'm just like silently like, oh my god, I want them so much.
See, I'm personally very bad about like beating around the bush and things like that. So I'm just like, this is fine. This is what I'm feeling. Here you go. You do with that what you will.
Nope, not me. I'm usually like, oh my god, I have these feelings for this person so much. Why don't they like me? And I'm like, okay, just let it be.
I'm not good at that at all.
Nope. I let it happen, because the thing is that a lot of the time, and me personally, like, and this is with me personally, I've ruined a lot of friendships that way because I've allowed my romance receptacles mixed with my friendship receptacles, and now I just don't trust myself anymore, and I don't want to ruin like what I have that's already perfect, you know, with a friend for something that might be short-lived or maybe not like not reciprocated or whatever. So it's like, listen, I'll leave it in their hands. If they do something or they tell me, then it's fine, but I don't really want to. Usually a lot of the times with me personally, I don't trust my demisexual like attraction to people.
Wait, so what'll push you to tell someone then, if you don't mind me asking?
Usually, oh god, well, I already said it. Usually it's me feeling a certain way. Me usually feeling spicy one night.
So it's just like a random night, you're like, I'm extra spicy tonight.
I'm extra spicy tonight and you're the only one I want. So why don't you come over here and send me a picture of that eggplant, huh? Let's do this.
Oh my god.
And I mean, let's just say that that's probably not the best way to open up a demisexual possible relationship, but that's normally the thing that pushes me over, because like I'll be like, and this is the thing, it's normally a really long time of repressed feelings for that person, you know, me repressing those feelings for that person for like a while. I'm like, oh my god, I have feelings for them, I like spending time with them, oh, I want that so bad. And then it's like you know, me not trusting it and me not whatever. Then one night I'm just feeling super spicy and we're talking and they do something really cute and adorable or that I find sexy, because again, he's, I don't know, rambling about a fucking anime or something, and I'm like, oh god, you're so fucking hot.
It's like, oh yes, talk about the hyperfixation.
Yes, and then it's like, oh my god, oh, I love it when he rambles about freaking, you know, mechs. Oh yes.
Talk about them Gundams.
Oh my god, talk about scary movies, yes! And they're doing something that I find incredibly sexy, even if it's not sexy, and they might be, you know, I don't know, picking their nose or eating a fucking pizza while they're doing it, but for some reason I'm feeling spicy now, because you made me feel that way, and then I'm like, hey, yo, listen, friend, I'm feeling a certain way for you, and let's just go. And they're like, huh?
Like, what is this?
I'm like, yeah, couldn't you tell? And they're like, no. And I'm like, did you not know I liked you? And they're like, I thought you were just being a really good friend.
Oh
and
no.
I'm like, and they're like, yeah, okay, fine, yeah, I like you too. And I'm like, okay. But then, you know, sometimes things work out, sometimes things don't work out.
Hi, Bill.
Sometimes things work out, sometimes things don't work out. But yeah, right now, yeah, I have a friend who that's kind of going on with right now, and I'm just kind of like, oh god, oh boy.
It can be very hard to take that step, and sometimes you're very chicken nugget about it.
Yeah, Sometimes you're very tricky about it, especially if you don't know where it's gonna go, you know?
Yeah.
And even, especially if, again, as a demisexual, you normally date people who are your friends for a real long time first.
Mhm.
So you have that, there's that fear. There's
Yeah.
that, you know, that shyness of, that, you know, like you're not trigger happy to just jump right into something. You're a little gun shy because you're like, I don't want to ruin the friendship. I don't want this to be ruined if things don't work out because I love them so much. You know?
Yeah, you don't want to lose what you already have.
Right. You don't want to lose what you already have. You might know like your own, you know, your own shortcomings or whatever, and you don't want to hurt them either, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe they've seen you go through some things or the kind of person you are on the inside, and you're just kind of like, oh God, you know, I'm probably not good for this person or whatever. Whatever your reason might be. Me personally, I always feel that way like a lot of the time with my friends. I'm kind of like, oh God, they've seen me go through this and this and this with this person, you know.
It's like they know my shit.
Yeah, they know my shit, so it's like, oh God, they're gonna, you know, they deserve so much better.
But it's kind of nice because, I mean, at least at that point, they, like, already know your shit. So it's like, well, it's not like I have to tell them anything. They already know that shit, you know?
You would fucking think, right? You'd be like, hey, you knew I was this way. And they're like, oh, but I thought you'd be different with me.
The fuck? That's just rude.
Like, you thought you were special? You thought things were gonna change? No.
No. Mm-mm. They should know you better than that if they're your friend.
I know! They should know. It's like, don't you know? Like, you've seen me go through BPD spirals before. Did you think you were gonna cure my BPD? Hello? No.
A relationship does not fix things like that.
No, it sure does not.
Mm-mm.
If it did, I'd be in a new relationship every week, Gail.
Well, I think that's the thing that a lot of people think is like, well, I can fix them. But it's like, maybe not.
Oh, I hear that all the time. I tell people, like, it's like, I have this. And they're like, I can fix her. I'm like, please freaking do. You can try. I'd love you to try. It probably won't work. But, yeah, absolutely.
It's like, good luck.
Yeah, good luck, everybody. It's like, it's not gonna work out for any of us. But let's see. It says demisexuality is a sexual orientation which sexual attraction is only experienced after developing a close emotional bond with another person. Those who are demisexual do not feel sexual attraction to others based on looks alone. Their sexual desire is tied to the level of emotional connection and trust felt with this person. This often takes time and experience of deep connection to develop. Again, the time is kind of meh. And so, like, also this one says not everyone is into casual sex. Some people prefer to have an emotional connection with someone before a physical one. Those who identify as demisexual, however, explain that they need to feel a strong emotional connection with someone in order to feel sexual attraction to them at all. It's part of their sexual orientations. So again, I might find somebody attractive, but I'm not going to want to sleep with them unless I feel like a strong bond.
Yeah. I mean, you could still sleep with someone and not have a strong bond. Because, like, I've had a one-night stand before. But, like, it's not the same. It's not as good. You're just like, this is something, you know?
I mean, yeah. And again, like, I usually do it with me personally because, again, like I said, I suffer from BPD, so I might do it just to be like self-destructive and be like, sure, yeah, but I so much prefer the fantasy of having a one-night stand than actually doing a one-night stand. Like, for me, it's like, oh, yeah, the allure. Oh, so spicy. Somebody new and different. Oh, my. But then it's like, when it comes down to it, like, and again, I'm on Tinder. Somebody messaged me like, hey, you want to come over? I'm like, gross. I'm a lady who's going to go into your house at 3 in the morning.
My God.
I'm like, no, thank you. You didn't even ask me what my favorite movie is. You didn't even ask me what my favorite anime is. Jesus. You didn't even ask me my top anime betrayal. Disgusting.
They're just too bad to ask. How rude.
Yeah, I know. Imagine. And it's especially hard also then when like, and I have something on top of that. I'm also hypersexual, so I have hypersexuality mixed with demisexuality, which means
Have you explained that to chat what that is?
I have not. So hypersexuality is basically having like okay, and so hypersexuality, I'm a love and sex addict, right? I'm addicted to sex and love. So I'm always kind of searching for that euphoric feeling of like love in my life, like, oh, I feel like I'm in love, oh my god, you know. But it's really hard because again, I'm demisexual, so it's hard for me to feel those feelings for anybody. I can't just like love at first sight for me doesn't exist, you know. It's just like, yeah, no. I can look at somebody like, yeah, they're cute, but that's so like for me as a demisexual who also is hypersexual, it's really hard because I'm always feeling, we'll just use the word spicy. I'm always feeling spicy, but only spicy for people I have an attachment to. So when we were talking about you know, how do you not cross the line with people, it's really hard for me because I'm always feeling spicy, and if I'm feeling spicy specifically for people that are triggering my demisexual, you know, sexuality to feel like okay, now I'm sexually alert to them, it's hard for me to stop myself from crossing lines with them. So I can be spicy. I'm just always naturally just feeling spicy. Like there's some days that are worse for me, but a lot of the time I'm still a certain manageable level of spicy. So people will be like, "Are you never not spicy?" No, of course. I'm hypersexual. I'm always feeling spicy, but some days I'm feeling like feral and like, oh my gosh, like a cat in heat. Like I can't even concentrate unless I get something. And other days I'm like, okay, this is manageable, you know. And being demisexual with that is really hard because people don't understand that while I'm always feeling spicy, I might not feel spicy for you, you know. And so people try to sometimes cross that boundary with me.
That kind of, it makes me think of how, like, if you say you're like bisexual or pansexual, that people are like, oh, well, that means you like everyone. And it's like, no, that is not what that means.
Right. And that's the thing. So people always assume that, oh, if you're always spicy, you should be spicy for everyone. No, there's only certain people who I'm spicy specifically for. But you know, am I always feeling spicy? Absolutely. So if I'm feeling spicy, you know, I got my partner, it's like, hey, partner, come give me some of that spice, you know?
Yeah.
But you know, it's really hard because then people will, a lot of the times, people interact with me and that's all they want is like to be spicy with me. And to me being demisexual, that's a huge turnoff.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm like,
even if you're not demisexual, I feel like people coming at you just wanting to be spicy is just kind of rude, you know? It's like there's more than just being spicy.
Right, but as somebody who's hypersexual, normally they'd be receptive to that. You know, that's the hard part is that most people who are hypersexual are like into, you know, like hypersexuality just means like sex addiction usually, or like they can't control themselves, impulse control, you know. They're like, you know, they're very like wanting it like all the time. So by definition, me being hypersexual, normally somebody coming in, you know, rizzing me up and like being spicy with me would a typical hypersexual person would be like, oh yes, you know, yes, me, gimme, you know. But me being demisexual, that actually does the total opposite for me. It actually turns me off. And what ends up happening is that then I like usually shut off my, you know, romance receptors to that person. I'm just like, ugh, no, disgusting. Ugh,
so does being hypersexual make it harder being demisexual then?
Oh God, yes. Oh yes. Yes, absolutely. Because then also, like you said, like when it comes to like also, you know, like announcing your feelings for somebody, you know, like you said, what makes you like tell somebody how you feel about them? Well, normally it's me not being able to control my impulse control of my spiciness and me just being like, hey, you know, I like you. Give me some of that eggplant today, you know? Yeah. Because again, like I should be able to control that, but I don't. Like, I mean, there's times where I can't. So it is super hard because people don't seem to understand that, you know, I'm only asking you to get spicy with me because I legit have feelings for you. You know, I'm like, oh God, like, and if for some reason they were here in my vicinity and we did have a sexual encounter, that sexual encounter, I might even mumble the words like, oh my God, I love you, you know, during
Yeah.
the sexual encounter because I already feel it for them, you know, like I already have like feelings for them. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's a little bit, it's really hard to be hypersexual and demisexual at the same time.
So,
Yeah.
follow-up question to that, because you saying that made me think it. Let's say you are interested in someone demisexually and hypersexually, and they're like, okay, we can have some spicy time. But what happens if they're not like romantically interested? Like, would that then be a turnoff?
If they're not romantically
You
interested
know,
in me,
this is overly complicated, but you know what I mean, right?
No, but yeah, to be fair, I'm overly complicated. It could have been so easy if it was just left at demisexuality.
I mean, that's
right?
people in general. Let's be honest, we're all complicated.
Right. It's true, we're all complicated people. But okay, so let's just say that somebody that I'm really into, and I'd have to assume that I'm really into them because we're friends, right? And we spend a lot of time together. And sometimes I form attachments to people who romantic attachments to people who are not good for me because they're friends, and not just friends. I know their bad sides too, right? I know all the things that they've done, good and bad. I know how they treat people. I know how they would be in a relationship, right? Because we're friends and we're close. And so I've formed attachments to people like that before, where I love them as people and I love them as friends, but they were probably like the worst person possible for me to date. And, you know, then I'm always spicy, and maybe I, you know, sent them something that I shouldn't have, and things turned into something, or we flirted and did stuff or whatever. And they're not romantically interested in me because they don't want to date me, because they're just not. They're not the dating type, or they're just, you know, they don't want to date me because they know my shit. Whatever the case may be, right? I get my feelings hurt, you know. I my heart gets broken. Of course it does, because it wasn't, for me, it wasn't just a sexual encounter. For me, it wasn't just us, you know, like fucking around and finding out. It wasn't, I can't really do friends with benefits because of that reason. You know, like if you're my friends and I'm getting the benefits, I mean, that means that there's a connection there. Like I'm like 0 to 100 usually, you know, with like my demisexuality. Like it was nothing, and then out of nowhere, because we have this connection, now it's something. Now it's something big, you know. It goes from being nothing to being something huge. And so I can't do friends with benefits, because it's like, okay, but if we're doing the benefits, then, you know, to me the benefits only come if I have emotion there. You know, so then it's like, then I get like, I can't, you know, I get my feelings hurt. It's hard.
So there's always really that romance aspect for you,
right? There always has to be that romance aspect. If there's no if the romance aspect isn't there, I can't really do the sexual part of it, you know. If I'm with somebody serious, again, like I said, I do sex work and stuff, and so it's, you know, to me that's work. So it's not like I'm not really getting, it's not emotionally attached to that.
Yeah,
so
there's a separation from it.
There's separation from it, so it's easy to separate the two, in my mind anyway, because okay, this is work, boom. But then that means, like, you know, don't think you're coming to me after, you know, my work hours, and no, there's nothing here, you know. So I make things very clear usually to people. I don't cross the line. And when I'm not interested with somebody for anything, you know, romantically or whatever, for any reason why, you know, I usually make a clear boundary, like, you know, that's not but, and a lot
boundaries
of the
are important.
Yeah, boundaries are important, but like for me, it's just it's, yeah, I get my feelings hurt. I hurt myself, really. Because I can't help it, you know. I can't help feeling what I feel. I can't help, you know, we did something, and then, you know, it didn't mean to as much to you maybe as it meant to me, and of course that's gonna like make me feel like a little sad or whatever, but then I just have to get over it. And then normally there's that, like I said, that grace period, that break period, where I have to kill those feelings, and normally I have to kill those feelings by not spending time with that person.
Like kind of have to separate, you know.
great because if I'm spending time with that person, then a lot of the time, if I'm spending time with somebody, then that bond that we have is still igniting. Like it's still forming, it's still strengthening. Like be it good times or bad times, like the time we're spending together, if I already had those feelings, it's still, you know, it's still fortifying our situation. So a lot of the times what I end up doing, and people will sometimes see people like, I'm a streamer, right? And a lot of the time I talk to other VTubers and stuff, and sometimes it's VTubers who try to have romantic relationships with me or whatever, right? So sometimes my community will see somebody who was there all the time and then somebody who's no longer there. And it's like, they're gone. And it's like, why are they gone? Why is like, mommy doesn't hang out with this person anymore? And it's like, because I've had to separate myself from them for either because I was getting too close and I was starting to feel things I shouldn't, or because we tried and things didn't work out, or whatever. And so yeah, there's like a hey, where'd that person go? And it's like, don't worry about it.
It's like we're just not talking about that. It's fine. It's fine.
We don't talk about that person anymore. It's fine.
Yeah.
But then, you know, again, a couple of months later or whatever, they might see them come back around and stuff a lot more again, and it's because the time period has come about, and now I can be friends with them again.
Like everything's fine now. It's been reset.
Nope, my mind has been reset. It's fine. We're good. We're back at 0. Let's just be friends.
Oh, it looks like there's a couple more questions if you'd like to go over those.
Yeah, I love questions.
I think we already answered this one, but Riven had asked, can someone who's ace also be demisexual? They can be anything. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Those. Absolutely.
Let's see, there's a couple other ones. I'm not exactly sure what Nephilim meant, because I think there may be a typo, but what do you think of someone that gets something that reminds it of you or a song, anything like that?
Oh, okay. So, that's like, so I think those are things that like will trigger my demisexuality as well. Like when, because it's by definition bond, right? Like so like demisexuality is like bond. So if okay, let me just I'll say something that kind of triggered my demisexuality.
Okay.
For my birthday, one of my friends who I'm very close with, he has really good taste in music, right? And so I was like, hey friends, do me a favor for my birthday. All I want from you is a playlist of songs. And I was like, it can be either songs that remind you of me. It can be songs that you just want me to hear. It could be a million different songs, right? Just anything. Just put the songs on the playlist, kind of like a mixtape back in the 90s, right? If you were
adorable,
in the 90s, right? Or a mixed CD in the early 2000s, whatever. I wanted that. That's what I wanted. Because for some reason, every time he sent me a song, I liked it. You know, I was like, oh my god, he has great taste in music. So he made me this mixtape or this mixed playlist, and when I heard it, I cried. I was hysterical. I was like, oh, and I was like, oh my god, like I felt so seen. I felt so heard. I felt like appreciated. I felt like a lot of emotions with that, and that absolutely, totally, positively like made me like the bond between us strengthen. You know, I was like, oh my god, yes. Like for like a week, I was like looking at him with like hard eyes. I was like, oh my god, yeah. Like, oh my god, you see me. So anytime, like whenever somebody says like oh, this character in this show reminded me of you, or oh, you know, I listened to the song and it reminded me of you, to me that's like a bigger flirt than being like, oh hey, I think you're so pretty. Like, because again, it's more emotional, it's more connection. You're trying to bond with me, and that like hits me more than anything else would. Like you tell me, oh, you're so pretty, you're so sexy, I'm like, yeah, I hear that all the time. But somebody is like, oh yeah, I was listening to this song and it reminded me of you, you send me the lyrics, I'm like, oh.
That's so cute. I feel like I do something similar, because like especially if I'm watching like TikToks or something, I'd be like, this reminded me of you.
Yes, and oh, I love that. Yeah, exactly. Or like memes too. When somebody says me memes, be like, "Oh, is this you, mommy?" I'll be like, "Ah, you see
Yeah.
me." Yeah, yeah.
Oh, or
That.
when someone makes memes with you in them and you're like, yes, that's
Yes,
me.
yes. Oh my god, yes, yes, it's me. Yes, those
Yeah.
things. Oh, yes. And again, like same thing. I think I think gifts touch that too, because to me, it's always like, hey, I picked this out for you. It reminds me of you. You know, and for that, it's like, oh my god, yes,
It's like, oh,
please.
that's for
Oh
me.
my god, you thought of me. You think of me. Oh my god, you
It's
picked
such a
something out
sweet
for
thing.
me.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
I
so sweet.
love I love getting gifts where it may not be something you've asked for, but it's something that you enjoy or you may have mentioned like offhandedly, and they're like, "Wait,
Yeah.
you'd like this. I'm going to get you this." And you're like, "How did you
Yes.
know?
Yes.
Where did this come
Oh,
from?" And it's just
that
like the
hits.
best.
hmm That hits even harder when it's
Mhm.
a I thought you would like this gift. Oh my god,
Yeah.
yeah. My receptacles are already going bzzz, just because I've heard that before too. Mm,
Mhm.
mhm.
Exactly. Yeah, I kind of like that, Cinder. One of my viewers had sent me a surprise gift when I was like super sick last year. And they got me
Aw,
strawberry tea. And I'm like, because I was drinking a ton of tea. And I'm like, this is so wholesome. Holy shit.
aw,
And
that
it
is
meant a
so
lot.
sweet.
Hmm.
Yes, absolutely. That is such a vibe right there. That is like a that would like for sure. I was talking to somebody and um they I was talking to somebody for a while and they ended up being like, "Oh, I'm sending you a surprise or whatever," and I was like, "Okay." And so then when the surprise came, it was it was a pie, like a rolling pin and a bunch of silicone pans,
That's so
and
cute.
yeah, and a pie dish, because I'm pie
Hmm.
based, right? And I was joking, like well, not pie based, but I always
Like
like
baking.
well, no, like where is it? Let me pull it. Like, see, like I have a pie, and
Ooh.
so
That's so
yeah, because
cute.
my model is supposed to be the I'm the arch demon of gluttony, and also the crossroad queen of the crossroads, and so I look like a 1950s housewife, right? That's my
Hmm.
I'm wearing my pretty dress right now, but that's usually how that was my original outfit, and so I'm supposed to be
They're
like
both
a
very cute.
oh, thank you. I'm supposed to be like a housewife. And you know, like in the 1950s, everybody
Yeah.
was always like, making pies. Like, oh, here, look, I made a pie. You know, so that was kind of like my aesthetic. And so I kind of joked around one day and I was like, I don't even have a pie. I don't even have a roller, you know, rolling pin. I was like, I always buy the pie crust, like preemie pie crust. I don't have a rolling pin to make. I was like, I can't make the homemade pies, the pie crust, because I don't have a rolling pin. I don't have a pie dish. And so he bought me the pie dish and he bought me the rolling pin. And
It's so cute.
I was like, oh my
You're just like
god.
hard eyes. Yes, please. Thank you.
Yes, oh my god, really? You bought me a pie dish? And it was red, really pretty, and the rolling pin really pretty. And I was like, sheesh.
You love that.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was a moment. I was like, oh wow.
It's so cute.
mm-hmm.
But definitely things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, oh, there's one last question. How do
Okay.
you know if a demisexual likes you in a sexual manner? Will they just tell you, or are they like obvious giveaways? I think that depends on the person.
I think that really depends on the person. I think that you can tell if a demisexual is into you, um, by how much time they're spending with you is normally a really good indicator.
Yeah.
Because normally with demisexuals, it's about keeping that bond alive and like forming and forticating that bond. So the more time, if they're into you, they'll want to spend as much time with you as possible. Usually, that's what I've noticed with other demisexuals. Like one of our like again like one of our biggest love languages is time spent. So it's
Yes.
like making time for that person openly, you know, even sometimes rearranging our schedules just to spend time with you, um
Mm-hmm.
and just like always messaging you like all the time, like, or just like some people aren't texters, but you know, and you know this is not, but like I've noticed that demisexuals who are into people, they will they will make that effort, that conscious effort to keep communication going, because for us it is about that bond, it is about that emotional connection. So if it's not even just talking, it's just at least spending time with that person. If some people are not big texters, just, you know, just being, because again, we can't fortify that bond if we're not spending time together. So
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
At least for me, like, spending time with someone is really important, because, like, I've been in a relationship before where, like, we were living in the same house and they couldn't make time for me. It's like, I am sitting right next to you and you won't even play a video game with me. What the absolute fuck? But having someone who, even if they're, like, super far away, it makes time for me, and, like, it's like, yes, this is time I set aside to spend with you doing, you know, whatever for, like, 2 to 3 hours. Just like, it's the best, you know?
Yeah, and even if they can't spend time because they're busy, just showing that they at least want us to spend time with you is another thing. You know, just sending the messages, being like, hey, you know, I'm sorry, I really wish we could spend time together. Just, you'll hear things like that from a demisexual, like, oh, I missed you, you know, if you didn't spend time together. Oh, I can't wait to spend time with you again. When are we gonna hang out? Them reaching out and trying to build that connection, even if you just don't have the time, just the interest, like the
intent behind it.
Yeah, they'll usually let you know, because
yes, Cinder, or little taps of the bond touch. I have this little bracelet called a bond touch, and you can tap it and send, like, little love taps to each other.
Aww, yeah.
It's very wholesome.
Yes, exactly. Like anything that, just any kind of like poke, I missed you. Poke, I liked you.
Oh my god, poke. Like poking on Facebook? Or wait, was that Facebook or was that MySpace? Holy shit, that was old.
Facebook, I believe.
Man, I feel old.
I think it was Facebook. Wasn't it Facebook? I remember getting.
I'm not sure. It was like one of them. It was a hot minute ago, though.
I stopped using Facebook a million years ago, so. I told everybody at Facebook, I was like, I'm going to Twitter. Goodbye.
Goodbye. I'm never here again.
And you never came back. But yeah, anything like that shows that people are thinking of you. Like, sometimes I'll like get really busy with stuff, and people that I might be interested in at the moment, I'll just message them and be like, hey, I hope you had a good day today. I was thinking about you.
Oh, that's precious. I love that.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, I know that, you know, I was busy today and I saw that you were streaming, but I hope you had a good day, and just know that I was thinking about you. And that's as far as it goes. And then just they'll be like, oh my god, yes. So thank you. And I'm like, yeah.
I love that though. Shit like that is so adorable to me. I love that shit. And just eat it up.
And, you know, being poly single, you know, my demisexual, like, attraction, I might be into a couple people at once, feeling that, you know? Because, again, like, I'm poly, so that doesn't just happen with, like, one person. So sometimes I'll have, like, a couple of friends that I'm, like, having feelings for, but not going anywhere with any of them, you know? Just being like, oh, you make my day better when you message me.
Get a little doki doki here and there.
I do, yes, the doki doki. I have one that I'm always messaging, like, oh my god, senpai, give me attention! Oh, wow!
Oh my god. It's so cute though. I'm trying not to laugh because that was just so adorable.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Let's see.
Sorry, that's me being stupid.
You are adorable. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you.
Even if you're not interested in the hobby, would you still hang out with that person watching or listening to that hobby, i.e. wrestling or collections?
Oh, it depends on how invested in that person I am.
Same. Okay, because yes, you want to share things with your partner or someone you're interested in, but sometimes there's just some things you're just not interested in. No. Like, I personally will give things a shot, but like, I'm not gonna go like watch NASCAR or something, you know? That's not something I enjoy, and it's like, maybe no. That can be a you hobby.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'll try everything like once usually, but
Mhm.
if I already know I don't like it because I already know I've tried it, and I'm just like, even if I care about that person, I'll just be like, listen, I appreciate you wanting to share this with me, but no, I'm sorry, I'm not interested. And maybe try to meet
Mhm.
them like with mutual ground with something else, maybe, like I'm not into that, but are you into this kind of thing?
Yeah.
Maybe something closely related. Like I don't really play like horror games or whatever, but I'd be like, I'm not really into horror games because they're stealthy and I'm really bad at stealth games. But would you be interested in watching a horror movie with me? Kind of
Mhm.
thing. Trying to make like common ground things.
Yeah.
But yeah, because sometimes you don't have to like everything the person you're into is like.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't expect like somebody who's gonna be my partner to be like, hey, you want to watch like every single musical ever known to man? Huh? You want to watch them?
I
Learn the
I
words
love
and
some
sing them with
musicals.
me? I love musicals. Oh my
Same.
god!
But like,
I love musicals.
they're so good. I've been
What's your
watching
favorite
has been
musical?
well, my favorite musical, maybe Chicago. It's such a classic.
That was so good.
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh, Sweeney Todd's also up there.
I love Sweeney Todd. Yes. Oh my god.
What about you?
It's actually one that never came out in like media apart from being on Broadway. It was called Spring Awakening.
I've not heard of that one.
Oh, the music in that one is so good. It was it's actually the musical where Leah Michele started her career,
Hmm.
and Jonathan Groff, who does the voice of come on, he's in everything. That guy now. He was in Frozen. He was Kristoff in Frozen.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he started his career there. The guy who was in American Idiots was also like the main guy in American Idiot, the musical American Idiot, also started in there too. So there's just like so many. Oh god, the guy from Pitch Perfect, the boy who was her boyfriend, he started originally in that musical. It's a musical that was an all-star cast of people that do music now. Like they're now in like their 30s and stuff, but when it came out in the early 2000s, they were all really young and they all starred in this one musical called Spring Awakening. The music was written, I believe, by Duncan Sheik, who was like a pop singer in the 90s. He was famous for this like one-hit wonder called Barely Breathing. I don't know if you know that song.
I'm not familiar with it. I'm also really bad with names of things, so I
Okay,
may have heard it.
So, Spring Awakening, just look it up. The music is freaking fantastic. It's about a bunch of like early adolescent teenagers in like, I think they're in Germany in like the early 1900s or something. And
You should send me the name of it so I can look it up later.
Okay, yeah. And it's just them like about it's about like the summer of their youth kind of ending.
Okay, yeah.
It has like a lot of sexual themes in it and stuff though too. They talk about violence and it's just really great. It's a really great musical.
Sounds
it's kind
good.
of more so like a rock opera kind of thing.
Oh, rock operas. Those are fun.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my favorite. I tell people that's my favorite one. And if people are like into like really, really, really into Broadway musicals, they might know it, but not always. So I'm like Spring Awakening. They're like, but I also really like Wicked.
Good one.
Really like Wicked. That's a good one. Avenue Q, which was
It's super fun.
Yes. And so, yeah, no, but Sweeney Todd, classic. I love that one so much. Chicago, another great one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Getting back to questions, I got distracted with musicals. No, I love musicals. I could talk about them so much.
Listen. You said you liked musicals, and my demisexual receptor was like, huh?
I love musicals. Like,
huh?
I've been listening to like the songs from Has Been Hotel because like there's such bangers because so many people who are in it started in Broadway, and I'm like, oh, hello.
Really? See, I only know one song, and it's on my theme song playlist. The Insane one. Insane. I don't know.
You should go listen to at least the music from the season because
I need to watch
Jonathan, I think his name's Jonathan. Fuck, I can't think of his name. He did Beetlejuice on Broadway. He's in it.
Oh, okay.
So if you like his voice and like his acting,
I love
and his singing, and it's like, hello, hi.
Yeah, I love that. I love Beetlejuice on Broadway. Sometimes I'll be like, I'll do the hi. I'll be your guide.
Yeah. Exactly.
You could use a body. Yeah. I love that. Oh god, I'm gonna have to look at it. It looks so great. So many
Highly
people have told me.
recommend. I've been enjoying it.
Yeah.
The music's banger. Banger after banger, is all I have to say. If you love musicals, definitely.
Oh my god, I love it.
Not distracted by musicals again.
I'm sorry. No, we're talking about being demisexual. I apologize.
No, it's fine. It tracks for me. What was the next one? Oh, follow-up question. If you like someone who's demisexual, what is the best way to flirt with them? Obviously, the standard compliments do nothing. How do you show interest in a demisexual?
Compliments don't do anything. You're right. Oh my god, the standard compliments do not do anything. Standard flirting does not work either. We'll just be like, thank you, and we'll appreciate the fact that you flirted with us, but it won't like trigger anything inside of us emotionally. I would say similar interests for sure is the way to their heart. I would look, for me again, it's the similar interest. It's just the how do I get flirted with? Okay, so for me it is usually through my love languages. So if somebody sends me a gift or something, I'm like, okay, they were thinking about me, they might like me. But also the spending the time thing is, to me, is like a flirtation. Like to me, a flirtation coming from somebody, hey, I miss spending time with you. Oh my. Hey.
Hello, yes.
Hey, I really miss hearing your voice. Oh wow. Hey, I just miss hanging around you, or I miss your presence, or oh, you're so funny. That's another one. Like, oh my god, somebody compliments me being funny. Oh, or you have such a great personality. Whoa, hello. Anything that's not sexual based or like appearance wise stuff, those will usually fall off of us. We'll say thank you, we appreciate it. It's not like we won't. It's like, oh, thank you. But do we does it get us our motors going? No. Compliment anything within our personality. Oh, you're so funny. Oh, you're so you're so witty. Oh, you're so clever. Things that don't lie. Don't lie. We'll know if you're lying. But anything that actually compliments our internal, our souls, anything, us as people, oh, you have such great taste in musicals. Hey y'all, something like that. Something, oh, I listened to that song you suggested. You have such great taste in music. Or, anything like that shows that you're looking at us as a person.
That you listen.
Yeah, that you listen, that you're looking at us internally, not just externally. You don't see just the surface of what we present to the world. You're looking deeper than that. Oh my gosh, yes. Oh my god.
I know for me, you have to be very fucking obvious, because I am oblivious to myself. Yeah. In the worst ways. It's like, wait, you liked me? What? When did this happen? Right. Apparently, my current partner liked me for literal months, probably close to a year, and I had no idea until I asked them out. I was like, what? Wait, when did this happen?
That is adorable. I actually did I did see a lot of your the two of yours pictures at TwitchCon.
Yeah.
Because I follow both of you on social media. I definitely follow you on social media. I'm not sure if I follow them on social media, but I definitely follow you on social media. And I was seeing all the pictures and stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, Precious! Oh, Precious, they're so cute! And I thought that maybe there was something there. I was like, oh,
it was hilarious. The whole weekend at TwitchCon, we kept being asked if we were dating. And every time I was like, oh no, that's so silly. Haha. We're not dating. What are you talking about?
Well, because sometimes people see a connection, that sometimes people don't see themselves.
We apparently have so much chemistry that so many of our friends asked us. Some of the friends asked us multiple times. We're like, are you sure?
Yeah, because, the thing is that you're just looking at them and they're looking at you, so you're looking at each other, but people on the outside are seeing maybe the glimmer in your eye when you look
Yeah.
at them, just seeing other things that you don't see from the outside.
Mhm.
Sometimes I'll be looking at my phone, and my partner Lucy will be like, who are you talking to? And I'm like, blah blah blah, why? And he'll be like, because you're smiling at your phone.
Aww.
And I'll be like, huh? He'll be like, you're smiling at your phone. I'm like, oh my god, I didn't even notice that.
That's adorable.
Yeah. So he'll ask me, he'll be like, who are you talking to? Like, very, very nonchalant. I'll be like, who are you talking to there? I'm like, blah, blah, blah. Why? But yeah. Yes.
Gotta love being oblivious.
Imagine.
Couldn't be me.
Yeah, because even when people tell me they like me, I'm like, I don't believe you. I'm traumatized.
You're like, that's so funny. You like me? Oh my god.
Wow, that just sounded just like me. Oh my god. Yes, that is me always. So like, you're so silly.
You couldn't possibly. Oh.
Me, not me.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm not the only one who does that.
Yeah, no, I do it. It always gets me in trouble. I'm like, and they're like, I really like I feel like they have to like just be, like grab me by the shoulders and look at me in the eyes and be like, I really do like you, right? Like really like you, not just like a friend like you. Like I have feelings for you, like you. And I'll be like, oh my god, are you sure?
Sometimes you just need to spell it out, okay?
Yeah, and even still, sometimes I don't know how to deal with that either. Sometimes I still don't know even how to handle those emotions that come from people. I'll be like, oh my god, what does one even say?
Does it just leave you dumbfounded if someone just comes right out and says it?
God, yes. I'll be like, oh god. Oh, why? My usual thing is why.
Oh my god.
Yeah, why?
I mean, it's a fair question, but like, it's you. Of course they do.
I mean, I don't. Yeah, trauma. I'm like,
fair.
My trauma's like, I don't believe you. Tell me why. So, like I have this one friend who's always like, he's like, oh my god, you're so great, and I'm like, I'm mid. I always say I'm mid. I'm like, yeah, I'm alright. Yeah, I'm mid. Yeah, I'm alright. And they're like, no, stop it, and I'll be like, no, you stop it, you silly. I'm not good. I don't do well with compliments. I think I just don't, because I'm just kind of, again, demisexual, so the compliments are kind of like, I just don't really know how to like take them.
It's like, thank you, and then you just go on about it. You're just like, that's fine. Thank you, bye. Thank you.
No, you. I do a no you a lot too. I'll be like, no you. What? No you.
Wait, so how is it getting compliments from strangers then?
No, you. How's it getting compliments from strangers? Oh my god. Like, as a streamer, you mean?
No, I mean like in real life.
Oh
like,
my god.
I know, like, because I have tattoos. So I get complimented on my tattoos a lot, and I'm always like, okay, thank you. And then I just leave really fast.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I just get really awkward. I'm like, thanks, bye.
I was like, when do I get complimented in real life? Okay, I realize. Okay, I do get complimented a lot in real life if I allow myself to go out in public. So
fair.
I'm one of those. I'm semi-agoraphobic, so I don't like being in places with a lot of people. Right.
I have social anxiety, so I feel that.
Okay, me too. I also have social anxiety. I have social anxiety and agoraphobia. So, and it happened because of COVID. Like after, like I was like locked in my house and I didn't want to leave. I was like, oh my god, COVID scared the shit out of me. So it still hasn't truly gone away. It's like it just made it things like I'm just like now I'm just like scared of people. So for the most part, I like tend to like DoorDash a lot, and I tend to like Instacart my groceries to my house instead of going to a grocery store.
Oh, I do that.
Yeah. But there are times where I have to go to the grocery store because something's on sale and the sale is not on the app or whatever that may be. For some reason, I actually have to step foot in the grocery store. So I dress kind of cute, I guess, or like let's just say unconventional.
Mhm.
I you ever seen New Girl?
New Girl, like the movie?
The show New
Okay.
Girl with like Zoe Deschanel.
I know
You
you're
know,
talking
she
about,
dresses
yeah.
okay. Or like you ever seen Criminal Minds with
Mhm.
Garcia?
Yeah.
Okay. You know she dresses like cardigans and like really colorful and stuff.
Mhm.
Or like
Very cute.
Miss Frizzle
Very
from like
cutesy. Yeah.
yeah, Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus. I kind
Mhm.
of dress like that. My
Okay.
my skirts and dresses and stuff will have like I have a skirt that has like roosters on it. I have like pies on dresses. I have like fruits and kind of like my model. She has a strawberry dress. I have like a million strawberry dresses.
Those are
So
so
anyway,
cute. Mhm.
right. So I dress very vintagey, like 1950s vintagey, or I look like a kindergarten teacher, right? And so
Mhm.
a lot of people will compliment the way I dress when I go out in public. So they'll stop me at the grocery store, be like, "Oh my god, you look so cute!" And I'll be like, "Thank you."
You like think you would run away?
Yeah, I like run away.
Same.
I'll have a shopping cart, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, you just had like, thank you!" And I'll just like go to another aisle, and just like run away. And
Mhm.
so, or people like, and so they'll always be like, "Oh my god, you're just so cute! Are you a school teacher?" And I'm like, "No!" And I'll keep going, like keep running away from them because like I cannot handle compliments in real life either.
Mhm. I feel
Okay.
that.
Now, I do appreciate the compliments that they're
Mhm.
giving me because they are honing in on the fact that I work very hard on dressing cute, right? They're honing in on something that is not particularly my physical appearance, but how I have chosen to dress.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate the compliments, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, oh God, don't give me compliments.
It's like, please don't talk to me.
Please don't talk to me. I don't, please don't talk to me. I'm just so scared of people.
Talking to people's hard.
It is. I don't know how I'm gonna do it at TwitchCon, but I was like, I've told some of my friends, I was like, y'all better go to TwitchCon because I'm gonna need like emotional support people there with me.
So, because I get overwhelmed sometimes. Like, I've gone to TwitchCon twice now, and both times, like, because there's been, like, VTuber meetups, and there's just, like,
Yeah.
a ton of people. I'll have, like, these moments where I've had to just, like, I have to step aside right now. I need a moment to myself. There's too many people, like, touching me and, like,
Ah.
bumping into me and just around me. It's like, I need a breather for, like, 5 minutes.
Oh
So,
God, yes.
that's something that's happened to
Oh.
me, so I totally get that. Because
Oh my God,
it's a
yes.
lot sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, and like I want to go because I want to meet my community members and meet other VTubers
Yeah.
I know, right?
It's
And
super
I'm
nice
like,
to do.
yeah, and I was like, I'm gonna do this for myself this year. I'm gonna do it because I really want to meet my fellow coworkers, fellow like content creators. I feel like it's a business opportunity to just meet and greet people,
Yeah.
And so I'm like, you gotta think of it in a business standpoint. It's good for morale within the community and stuff too, right? So I'm thinking of it like more so along those lines. That's why, in other words, if I was like, my agoraphobia is telling me, no, don't do it, mommy, don't do it. But I'm like, you have to do it for work, mommy. And so I'm doing it for that reason. But at the same time, I'm petrified. I'm like, oh my God, Jesus Christ. Oh,
Just be sure to take breaks. That's all I have to say as someone who deals with social anxiety.
yes.
We have a follow-up question.
Oh, I love follow-up questions.
In each of your opinions, would you say that you value it more when someone compliments things that are just natural parts of you, or when people compliment things you've put time and effort into? I think you kind of just answered this on accident.
Yeah, for me, always time and effort, because like naturally, like I can't help that my hair looks this way, I can't help that I look this way, so it's just kind of like my appearance and stuff wise, things like my appearance is like, okay. But like if somebody's like, oh my God, I love your outfit, I'm like, yes, thank you, now runs away. It's like, oh my gosh, I love your personality, and it's like those are things that I feel like we hone our personalities, right? Like we work really hard to be good people or whatever, you know, or like I feel like there's always the one aspect that's natural, but then, you know, you try to work on yourself and get rid of the things that are ugly about yourself, because we all have things inside of us that we have to work on as people, you know. So if somebody compliments my personality, I'm like, oh my god, thank you so much. I like your energy, you know, thank you so much. You know, it's really hard for me to have energy some days, you know.
Yeah.
So things like that, I feel like those things hit more, because I feel like, you know, you're actually complimenting me as a person, not just me on how I look, not any of the superficial things that,
yeah,
you know.
it's like things you like get to choose, because like I love it when people compliment me on my nails, because I love getting my nails done.
Yeah, but you've chosen to get them done.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I chose like to get them done. I chose like the shape and the color and all that. And it's just kind of like, oh, you like my style, and you know, it just it feels nice, because it's like I like them.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's something you took pride in, right?
Yeah.
So you took pride in getting your nails done. So of course, you getting your nails done and you're so proud of them, you're looking at them, you're like, oh my god, they're so cute. If somebody else then says that they're cute, then it's like, oh my god, thank you. Same with, I'm sure, your tattoos, right? You pick them out. You know, you want them on your body forever. That means something, right?
They're my permanent stickers.
Right. So that's so cute. I love that. Oh my god, I love that phrase. I need a sticker. So you've worked really, you know, you cultivated those on your body, and you know, you chose those for yourself. Sometimes it's, oh my god, I like your tattoo. You're like, oh my god, thank you. Me too. Clearly, you know.
Oh my god, could you imagine me liking them?
Right. And so like with me, it's like I feel that way about my clothes. I'm very particular about my clothes, my purses, my bags. I wear a lot of brooches, you know. And so like if somebody's like, oh my god, I love your brooch, I'm like, oh my god, yes, this brooch has a story.
It's so cute.
I get like really excited, and I'm like, oh god, yes. And so yeah, I don't know. It's just, or like somebody would be like, if somebody tells me like, I love your taste in movies, mommy, I'm like dying. I'm like, oh god, yeah. Yeah. Oh god, yes.
Oh, would that also go for your VTuber models? I would say definitely, because like, at least for me, I gotta pick everything about me, you know?
Yeah, so for me, if somebody compliments my VTuber model and says like, oh my god, your VTuber model's hair is so pretty, like, don't, like, my IRL hair, it's like, okay, yeah, I can't really do anything about it. But it's like, I mean, I might diet and be like, okay, oh, well, thank you, you know. But like, yeah, if you compliment my VTuber model, I worked really hard on her. She has a story, you know. Like each piece of her is a part of something that I wanted her to have. So it's like, if you're complimenting her, and especially like start something maybe on her that most people don't compliment, then I'm like, oh my god, yes. You know. Like, it's huge.
It's like, oh, you noticed one of the teeny tiny details? That's like the best.
Like, that's a strawberry on your VTuber model, right?
It is, because I'm strawberry flavored.
I know. I love that. Look, I have a strawberry brooch too.
I know. I saw that earlier, and I was like, it's so cute. We kind of match a little bit.
I love that. So yeah, and so see, anytime somebody like with a little detail or something, like, oh, this about your mom. My favorite part is this on your model. I'm like, that story. You know, that makes me excited.
It's like, oh, thank you for noticing. I put that there on purpose.
Right. It was not by accident. It was by design. So yeah, absolutely.
I definitely agree with that. It looks like we don't have any other questions, unless chat wants to ask some questions in chat. Is there anything else you want to talk about related to demisexuality?
No, I think we kind of covered everything for the most part. I think it's good to just know that, you know, demisexuality is a little bit complicated, because it is really based on personal so like with like, okay, I'm heterosexual, that's pretty cut and dry, right? Like it's like,
it's pretty straightforward,
dry,
yeah,
right? Pretty straightforward, right? And so like some of the sexualities are like very straightforward, others not so much, and demisexuality is one of the ones that we're all kind of different on how we define it. So it really depends on the person. Like when they say they're demisexual, just know that most likely you're just gonna have to work harder on getting them to be romantically or sexually interested in you. Just know that it's cultivating an actual relationship with them, even if that relationship is not romantic, but it is cultivating a relationship with them bond-wise, to make a form bond with them before they're even going to probably see you in that kind of light.
Yeah.
And it might be very, or if the sexual attraction is there, I'm telling you right now, because I've had that with people before too, that sexual attraction that they have for you is very superficial. Like I get sexually attracted to people all the time based on how they look, right? I'll be like, okay, yeah, it's sexually attractive, but all I'm seeing them for is like what they look like. I don't want a relationship with them. I don't want to probably even have sex with them unless I'm feeling like okay, I'm just gonna do it just to do it, but then I'm probably not going to want anything with you afterwards anyway, because I just like did something that kind of like is not my norm. You know, I went against my norm. So if they are sexually attracted to you off the bat and they say that they're demisexual, it's probably a very superficial that they're sexually attracted to you because just of probably the way you look. So like something that like, okay, I'm sexually attracted to you, but it's very superficial. They're probably, you know, they would need to, you need to cultivate a relationship with them or situationship with them or a friendship with them before they even are willing to probably, you know, have sex with you. So
yeah,
it's very important to know. That's kind of standard fare with a demisexual person.
I agree. I mean, I know it'll like vary a little bit from person to person, but I feel like that's pretty standard.
I feel like that's the most basic way to put it. Like if we're going to like try to like categorize them in a certain way, I would feel like that's probably the best way to categorize it, is that they probably will not have a sexual attraction to you off the bat. If they do, it tends to be shallow or superficial, and then, you know, to actually get them to want to be romantic, to reach a sexual place with you, something has to cultivate, something has to give a little bit more. And I think that's like the most basic way to put it. If we were all gonna put us all in a box, and we might be like, yeah, no, sometimes I this, but yeah, there goes the sometimes. See, there goes the sometimes. Yeah. What is the norm? You know, and that's because again, I've had one night stands too, but I usually feel gross and like, I never want to see that person again. Like, what a shameful moment for me.
Well, here's a question then, because I mean, I feel like most people want some type of, I guess, like bond or like to get to know a person a little bit before you like have a one night stand, like before you sleep with them. Because it's like, oh, it's the 3-date rule, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So how do you think that varies from like demisexuality then? Like where's that line?
Okay, so I think like with a demisexual person, and I had that, I have this thing that helps me with that, explain it a little better, because that is the huge difference, right? Because most people, okay, so the definition of demisexuality is not experiencing sexual attraction without a strong emotional bond, and the world kind of says, okay, well, that's what most regular people do. That's kind of like the world's response to demisexuality, right? Not all the world, but like basic fair people would be like, oh, well, that's, you know, isn't that most people? Most people want to get to know the person they're having sex with, right? Not everybody's out there just having frivolous, you know, meaningless sex. And so, but the reality is that, I guess it's called allosexuals. So it says what allosexuals do is find someone sexually attractive and then get to know that person, most likely via dating, for a relative amount of time to determine if they're worth a relationship or having sex with. Right? So
they're sexually attracted to them first.
Right.
And then they go for the romantic attraction.
Right.
Yeah?
Right. So thus the result determines the results determine the action, not the attraction, because the attraction's already there. But for a demisexual, the results of the interactions with a potential partners determine the attraction. So it's the other way around. We're not attracted to them usually. Usually it starts off as a friendship. Normally off the bat, I'm not attracted to people, right? Like with me. Normally, a lot of the people that I end up getting in relationships with or having feelings for, I'm not usually attracted to them off the bat. I'm just like friends with them. And then out of nowhere, then I'm like, hey, I'm in love with this person. Where did that happen from? And I'm thinking spicy things about them, you know, because again, it's a result of spending the time with them and forming that bond. So if it says for a demisexual, the results of interactions with a potential partner determine the attraction, which was not there originally. So things like flirting aren't really going to get our attention because we haven't established a sexual attraction or for the person who's flirting with us. So while the person flirting with us is trying to raise us up and try to get us to be romantically interested in them, we might just be like, yeah, thank you, but not feel anything. It might not do anything.
Because there's nothing there to build on yet.
So it says there's a but coming. Even if a demisexual happens to develop a strong enough bond with another person, it doesn't necessarily mean they will become sexually attracted to them, but they might be more open to intimacy with them.
That's true.
And so it says, personally, unless we have had an honest, engaging conversation that makes me interested in seeing you more often, I won't say yes to a date, even if I find you aesthetically attractive. And more often than not, I will be turned off if the conversation swings toward my body or sex. First impressions reveal first intentions. And that's I feel that way, especially if the first interactions I have with somebody are strictly sexual. To me, they're not. To me, they will be undesirable for a relationship or to get intimate with. I like automatically I close them out. I put them in a box. Usually in my head, I'm like, nope, no. All they do is see me as, you know, a sexual object for them. That's what they want. They just want me to pleasure them, you know, sexually. And like for me, I'm like, and that's fine for work purposes. But if they're trying to like flirt with me for like relationship, no.
Very different.
Yeah, very different.
Are there specific things that get you going emotionally speaking, since physical attraction isn't as big a factor? I know personality compatibility coming first is a big thing.
Yeah, are there specific things that get me emotionally speaking? Emotionally, I feel like there just has to be like, I like open, truthful, raw communication, like whether or not honesty. I want to hear it or not, honesty. I really like integrity, like do what you say when you say it. Like that's one of the things that like will instantly turn me off. If somebody is like, oh yeah, I'm coming through on blah blah blah, and then they don't come through, I'm like, your word meant nothing, you know? Like I like people to keep their word. So integrity to me is a huge thing with a person. Honesty, integrity, because then again, honesty, especially because I want to know what you're telling me is the truth, because again, I have a heart, like my relationships with people are based on our bond. So if what you're telling me is lies, then I guess I don't trust you. Like trust for me is everything. So
I feel like that go into any type of relationship though, because trust is very important.
Right, and I feel like that's with everybody, but like I feel like because again, for a demisexual, you're falling in love with the person they are, not really the person that they look like, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like sooner or later, aren't we kind of all demisexual in a way? Because like looks fade and you're still with the same person after years or whatever. And so like you love them for who they are and not really, or looks change during a relationship, you know? Like somebody who was skinny might end up gaining weight. Somebody who was larger might lose the weight. Someone who had big booba might for some reason have to lose their booba, whatever that might be. And you're just not like, hey, now that you look different, I'm leaving.
Some people do that. They're assholes.
Some people don't, but that makes you a piece of shit. You know?
Yeah.
That just makes you a bad person, you know? But I feel like sooner or later, you know, but again, initially for most people, there is a sexual or attraction that allures people to people. But with a demisexual, normally it's a, hey, I don't really care what you look like. It ends up being like, how somebody looks is usually an afterthought for a demisexual. It doesn't matter. Like it really doesn't matter. Like I didn't know what my partner looked like for like the longest time, and I was already in love with him. Like I was already in love with him. When I finally saw him, I saw a picture of him. I was like, oh my God, he is the cutest thing I've ever seen in my whole life. And it was because I was already in love with him. It didn't matter at that point what he looked like. He could have been a troll, you know? It would not have mattered. I still would have thought he was the most beautiful person I'd ever seen in my life because I was already in love with him at that point.
It's so cute.
So yeah.
What's that one? Would you say you find it attractive if someone tries to get to know you better after being open that they're interested, or would you rather someone save being honest about their interest until after that personal relationship is cultivated?
After the personal relationship has cultivated, for sure. I feel like I want the personal relationship to be cultivated first, so that I feel like there's no ulterior motive in getting to know me. Now that being said, that's wanting to know somebody for romantic reasons is totally valid. I'm not saying that it's not. But at the same time, I'm always going to be a little sketchy or wonder if, like, okay, are you only putting up with my shit because you want a relationship with me? Or do you actually enjoy spending time with me? You know, because sometimes, let's be honest here, when people want relationships from people, sometimes they change their persona around, they change their personality.
Oh, I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, they put up with a lot more than what they would normally put up with just because they want to date somebody. And I don't want anybody compromising who they are as a person just because they want to date me. You know, like, if you don't like my bratty behavior or, you know, how assertive I can be, then you should be able to say, hey, you know, I don't like this behavior. And if we're friends, does it even matter? Like, no, okay, well, you know, mommy's just a bitch, and that's just, mommy is this way, and that's just who she is. But if I am that way, if I am bitchy in front of you, and we're just friends, and we're just joking around, and I'm bitchy, and, you know, you're just putting up with my behavior because we're friends, and, you know, we put up with our friends' behaviors a lot.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to feel like I have to be on guard around you, be like, oh my god, I have to behave around this person who might want to date me. I don't want them to see me as a bad person or whatever. I just want to be myself. So I would much rather me be myself, and you see also if you want to, if you really do like the real me or not, before you be like, hey baby, I want to date you, or hey, I want to get to know you better. And I just like get to know me first, and then be like, hey, I've gotten to know you, and I'd like to say that I like you, mommy. I like you a whole lot. And then I'll be like, oh really? Wow. I feel sorry for your judgment, but
oh my God. But I feel like that makes sense though, because it's like you want to know the person before, because like otherwise you're like, well, you're only being friends with me because you want to, you know, get in my pants, you know.
Right. And so, like, that's the thing, like, so many people, I mean, no, a lot of people don't like to admit this, but it's a fact. A lot of people will, when they're dating somebody, will change their personality around to better fit the person they're dating. And it's like, oh yeah, you like GTA? I love GTA. Personally, I do like GTA, but I'm just saying, let's pretend I do like GTA.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, like, you're playing games that you wouldn't normally play because your partner likes them, you know, or the person you're trying to date likes them. You will watch football and eat wings even though you don't like them. You know how many girlfriends I had that were like vegans or whatever, and then started eating meat because of their guys, or
oh my God.
or vice versa, where they were meat eaters, and then like, oh no, the guy I like is a vegan, I have to not eat, you know, meat. And so it's like, people are like, go to the gym because it was a gym bro that they liked, you know, and it's like, oh well, the guy I like goes to the gym all the time, and that's fine if you want to better yourself, but don't like change who you are just to date somebody.
Yeah, because that's not the true you at that point.
Right, and then in the long run, in the end, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work out anyway. You know, sooner or later, the true you is gonna come out. They're gonna see that, and it's not gonna work out. I would much rather somebody get to know me for the real me, and then say, oh yeah, by the way, mommy, you know, I do really like you. I liked what I saw first, and that's why I started, you know, talking to you. But now I realize that, you know, I really do like you a lot more than, you know, and I'll be like, oh my God. That never happened before. I'm joking. But yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Sorry, I was stretching a little there.
Yeah, no problem.
Do you have anything else you want to say? I think that was all the questions.
No, I think I think we went over it again. I think we reviewed it again. I pulled on my article one more last time, and I was like, "It is this." So, because again, it's one of those things where it sounds like pretty like, "Oh yeah, isn't that most people?" kind of thing, but it's really not. It's a little different. So even though it might sound like, "Oh yeah, most people would be this way," you would think so, but it's a little bit more intense than that. Like the whole, a lot of the time it's a friendship that then turns into something like we're normally not even attracted to the people, like our types, and people are not usually the types of people we end up being with in the long run.
I guess I kind of lucked out because Bill has a dad bod, and I'm like, fuck yeah.
Hey, yeah.
It worked out well for me.
Yeah, if you're always a fan of dad bod, then hey yo, you got that dad bod. But yeah, no. Well, for me too. Like I had a type, and then when I met my partner, he definitely fit my type too. But
which is nice.
Yeah. I was like, hey, yo, look at you. You're such a cutie. But sometimes I'll see people and they won't look like how I expected them to look. But it doesn't. At the same time, again, if I already have feelings for them, it doesn't even matter. Really
That's very fair. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, yeah, you're cute, but like I'm in love with you on the inside. So
well, no, I feel like that's very accurate though, because people I've dated in the past, there's some people I've been like, wow, I would not have been like physically attracted to you, but like I like your inside, so let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. Like there's some people that would like I had dated that I was like, like normally if I was judging based on what I would normally date, you would not be the person I'd be dating, but there's this one guy I dated who I was like, he was like, before I met my partner, he was like the one that I was like in love with. And it was like, I remember it happened out of nowhere. Me and him were friends for like the longest time. And then out of nowhere, I don't remember what it was. I think we were playing like Animal Crossing or something one day on the GameCube. And then I was like, I'm in love with you. Just happened out of nowhere. Yeah, no, he was bad for me, but it was okay. It was bad for me, but it was just a cute thing that out of nowhere it just happened. It's just out of nowhere it just happened.
I feel like that happens a lot for people who identify as demisexual. Just like suddenly you're just like, oh, hello there, hello, hi.
Yeah, the rose-colored glasses or whatever, the hard eyes come out, and you're like, I've been seeing you for months now, maybe even years now, and now suddenly you sure look different.
Yeah, it's like, hello.
You're looking mighty sexy today, and I don't know why.
Maybe I want a taste of that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god. It's like, how are you so cute? Were you always this cute? Jeez, what have I been sleeping on? Oh my gosh.
It's nice to know that other people like feel the same way too, though, and like have it happen. It's not just me being a chicken nugget.
Chicken nugget. No, it happens. It happens. It's a thing. It happens a lot with demisexuals out of nowhere. They'll just out of nowhere. It could have been all good and dandy, and then out of nowhere, it's just suddenly like, oh wow, hello. I didn't expect this. This is like all very
surprise.
Surprise! It's like, no, it happens. It happens.
It's just funny.
It's great though. I love it. I love it when it happens.
I mean, I wouldn't change it because I'm really happy where I am now, but at the same time, it was like, I was not mentally prepared for this. Hello? What?
That happens a lot to me because again I have a lot of friends. I talk to a lot of people, and then like out of nowhere, like we'll be hanging out a lot, and then suddenly I'm feeling things that I didn't feel yesterday for somebody, and then I'm like in misery. I'm like, oh my god, why do I feel these feelings for them? Oh no, I don't want to ruin the friendship. Yeah, so happens out of nowhere.
Good to know. Do you have anything else you'd like to say?
I'm good when you are. If you want to wrap things up or whatever, we're good to go.
I think I'm going to give Prism a raid. I think they're playing a game. If I did that correctly. I did do it correctly. So I'll give Prism a little raid. Thank you so much for coming on today and talking about demisexuality.
Thank you for having me. I had such a great time.
I feel like I learned a lot today, and I feel like chat learned a lot today.
I'm glad that they learned a lot in between my rambles. That
They
means a
were
lot
good
to me.
rambles. Because, like,
Thank you.
demisexuality is something, like, I'd considered for a while, and I kind of feel like I'm under the umbrella, but it's nice to be able to talk to someone else who's demisexual to be like, okay, maybe that is right, you know?
Yeah, it is. And for the longest time, I didn't know what it was either. I was like, I can only really, like, I mean, I can, but I can only really, like, sleep and enjoy it with people I actually have a connection with. And I just, like, when I heard what demisexuality was, I was like, holy shit, that's me!
It's very nice to be able to, like, learn about those types of things.
Right, yeah, it really is.
But thank you again, and all of you should
Yeah,
go
of
give
course.
Mrs. Mummy lots of lava love, and go have some fun with Prism. I'll be seeing you all next week. Good night, Gloopies.